Okay guys, so when it comes to dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin, we really need to keep an eye on the effect that they may have on our anxiety and our energy. One way in which to determine this is a little method that I utilize incorporating blood pressure as well as blood sugar. And I'll fill you in as the reason why. See, dopamine creates vasodilation as opposed to norepinephrine, which creates more vasoconstriction. So when your dopamine levels are high, what you would notice is that there is likely to be a drop in your blood pressure, but an increase in your blood sugar. And the reason for the increase of the blood sugar is that dopamine actually inhibits the active release of insulin. And as those of you who aren't aware, insulin is the mediated hormone to help reduce excessive blood sugar concentrations. So in situations whereby your blood pressure is low and your blood sugar is high, you might be dealing with extreme dopamine toxicity. Okay, what can you do in situations of extreme dopamine toxicity? Well, the first and foremost, intake of vitamin C helps, high intake of vitamin C helps to mediate the reduction, as well as an intake of nicotinic acid or vitamin B3. And the combined use will help to get your blood pressure and your blood sugar under the right contention. In situations, however, where blood pressure is increased, as well as your blood sugar being increased there too, then we are dealing with a whole different culprit of cortisol increase. So interestingly, when there is an insufficient capacity for particular cofactors like biopertin cofactors to activate enzymes, aromatic amino acid decarboxylase enzymes, to create the conversion and production of dopamine, what happens is the body produces more cortisol. And in producing more cortisol, it will increase the the quantity of blood sugar, but it will also have an impact on your blood pressure levels will increase as well. Now, in contrast to this, the insufficient capacity to be able to produce cortisol will actually give you a low blood pressure and high blood sugar level, which again comes down back to the dopamine tracks and the cholinergic pathways that also are inadvertently compromised when the body is incapable, the pituitary is not incapable, but is losing the functionality of communication with the peripheral nervous system. So, guys, if you are struggling with your mood, struggling with energy, struggling with anxiety, and it's particularly the difference between anxiety in the mind as opposed to body-like anxiety, one way to identify whether or not you are struggling with a psychological anxiety or physiological anxiety is by sticking out your tongue. And if you're able to maintain a still profile of your tongue, but you're still feeling anxious, that is a very subtle way of possibly indicating that it's a high amount of dopamine. If it starts to tremor while you stick your tongue out, it's a normally indication of high amounts of cortisol or high amounts of norepinephrine that could be creating the physical anxiety. When it comes to norepinephrine, it's also very important to balance out folate metabolism. And one of the biggest ways in which to reduce excessive concentrations of norepinephrine is to make sure to take in some folinic acid, which is vitamin B9. So just to help mediate the effects of high amounts of norepinephrine and to help the conversion factor as well, to support the fluidity of conversion factors. Other factors to consider as well when there are high instances of dopamine is to ensure the recycling of glutathione. Lithium plays a huge role in that as well. In instances of high concentration of norepinephrine, what often happens is mitochondrial activity heightens, leading to excessive extracellular ATP release, which creates the formation of superoxides. In instances of superoxide formation, it's very, very important that your copper zinc profiles are balanced, as well as your manganese calcium profiles are well balanced with each other. So depending upon where it is that you are struggling with your oxidative stress, it is very important to look into particular mineral pathways, ratios, and balances, in addition to micronutrient precursors, to get you your body the right raw material or the potential to be able to produce the right type and the quantity of antioxidant responses in order to mediate any excessive excitation that may go on throughout the nervous system. Until we meet in London, guys, stay well, stay healthy, and most importantly,